The vast expanse of space glimmered with distant stars as the transport ship, Endurance, hurtled through the void. Inside, a group of human marines sat in tense silence, their eyes glued to the holographic display flickering in the center of the cabin. It showed the towering figure of the Zathari ambassador, a being with iridescent skin and eyes that gleamed with intelligence and authority. "Welcome, esteemed warriors of Earth," the ambassador intoned, his voice smooth and resonant. "You stand at the precipice of history. The Elite Combat Trials are designed to test not just your physical capabilities, but the very essence of what it means to be a soldier." Sergeant Maya Torres shifted in her seat, the weight of the moment settling on her shoulders. Around her, the other Marines, hardened by years of service, exchanged glances filled with both determination and apprehension. They were representing humanity, and the stakes could not be higher. The display shifted to a panoramic view of the trial arena, a colossal structure floating in a nebula, surrounded by swirling colors and ominous clouds. The Zathari explained the challenges they would face, each designed to push them to their limits. Failure will mean isolation for your species. Succeed, and you will secure humanity's place among the stars. Lieutenant Jake Harris, a tactical genius known for his quick thinking in the heat of battle, leaned forward, excitement flashing in his eyes. "So, it's a series of tests. I say we show them what we're made of." The room erupted in murmurs of agreement, a wave of adrenaline washing over the group. Maya felt her pulse quicken. They had faced tough odds before, but this was different. These were not just any adversaries. They were Zathari, a species renowned for their combat prowess and advanced technology. As the transport docked in the trial arena, the Marines disembarked onto a metallic platform overlooking an expansive battlefield. The ground was littered with alien technology, remnants of previous challengers who had come and failed. The air buzzed with an electric anticipation, the faint sounds of an unseen audience echoing from the shadows. "Stay sharp," Maya called out, rallying her team. "We've trained for this. We've faced worse on Earth. We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for everyone back home." As they surveyed the battlefield, a massive gate creaked open, revealing their first opponents, Zathari warriors, tall and muscular, adorned with bioorganic armor that shimmered in the ambient light. They moved with fluid grace, their eyes glinting with confidence, as if they were predators sizing up their prey. "Remember your training," Jake said, his voice steady. "We're going to use our brains, not just brawn. We need to outthink them." The Marines took their positions, each one feeling the weight of history on their shoulders. As the first horn sounded, a pulse of adrenaline surged through Maya. She charged forward, adrenaline heightening her senses. The Zathari rushed at them, their movements swift and lethal. "Go," she shouted, signaling her team to split and flank the alien forces. The battle erupted, the sounds of clashing weapons and shouts filling the air. The Marines fought with fervor, drawing on their training and experience. As they engaged, Maya found herself locking eyes with a Zathari warrior, and in that moment she understood. Their strength was not just in muscle, but in strategy and teamwork. With every maneuver, they adapted, using their surroundings to their advantage. A beam of energy shot overhead, illuminating the chaotic scene, and as the Marines pushed back against their opponents, hope began to bloom in their hearts. They weren't just fighting for survival, they were fighting to prove that humanity had a place among the stars. The sounds of battle reverberated through the arena, a cacophony of shouts, explosions, and the clash of metal. Maya ducked low, narrowly avoiding a Zathari warrior's sweeping strike. The alien's speed was impressive, but she had something they didn't, the ability to think on her feet. With a swift motion, She rolled to the side and came up behind her opponent, delivering a powerful kick that sent him sprawling. "Keep pushing forward," Jake shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. The Marines were already rallying, forming small units to leverage their strengths. Corporal Daniela Nguyen and Private Marcus Ellis flanked Maya, moving in perfect synchronicity as they targeted a group of Zathari charging at them. "Cover me," Daniela yelled, drawing her energy rifle. As the Zathari advanced, she unleashed a volley of bright blue plasma bolts, forcing the alien warriors to scatter. Marcus seized the moment, darting forward and executing a powerful tackle on a Zathari warrior, taking him by surprise. "Nice move, Marcus," Maya called, adrenaline surging through her veins. The bond between the Marines grew stronger with every successful maneuver, the fire of determination igniting in their eyes. They were more than just soldiers, they were a family fighting for each other. As the battle intensified, Maya spotted a towering Zathari leader in the distance, rallying his troops. This was the heart of the alien force, and if they could take him down, they could disrupt the entire enemy line. She glanced at Jake, whose mind was already racing. "Think we can flank him?" Maya asked, panting slightly as she scanned the battlefield. "Absolutely," Jake replied, his expression focused. "We'll split into 2 groups. I'll lead one with Marcus and Daniela, while you take the other with Sergeant Miles and Private Chen. Let's create chaos." Maya nodded, a surge of excitement coursing through her. "Let's show them what we're made of." The 2 groups split, each taking a strategic route through the battlefield. As Maya and her team advanced, they ducked behind debris and alien machinery, using the landscape to shield themselves from incoming fire. The Zathari warriors were relentless, but the humans had something else, their capacity for creativity and adaptation. "On my mark," Maya whispered as they neared the Zathari leader. She counted down in her head. 3, 2, 1, go. They burst from cover, charging at the Zathari leader with a combination of speed and precision. The leader turned, eyes widening in surprise. Maya feigned to the left, drawing the leader's attention, while Miles launched a quick distraction by tossing a grenade into a nearby group of Zathari. The explosion rocked the ground, sending debris flying. Seizing the moment, Maya lunged at the leader, landing a series of quick punches that staggered him. He retaliated with a powerful strike, but she ducked just in time, feeling the rush of air as the blow passed over her head. She spun around, landing a swift kick that knocked him off balance. "Now, Miles," she shouted, and he surged forward, tackling the Zathari leader to the ground. In that moment, the tide began to turn. The Zathari warriors, witnessing their leader fall, hesitated. Taking advantage of their confusion, Jake and his group launched a counterattack, rallying behind the Marines' momentum. They fought with a ferocity that belied their size, showing the Zathari that humanity was not to be underestimated. As the last of the Zathari fell, the remaining warriors retreated, leaving the humans standing amidst the wreckage. The Marines exchanged triumphant glances, breaths heavy but spirits soaring. They had not just survived, they had thrived against the odds. Maya raised her weapon in salute to her team, feeling the thrill of victory coursing through her. We did it. Together. Cheers erupted among the Marines as they regrouped. The arena shook with the sound of the crowd, both the Zathari and their own people, acknowledging the humans' tenacity and spirit. In that moment, the Marines knew they had begun to rewrite the narrative of what it meant to be a warrior in the galaxy. They had proven that strength was not just about physical might, but about unity, strategy, and heart. As the dust settled from their hard-fought victory, the arena transformed into a silent void, the cheers of the crowd fading into an eerie stillness. The Marines, still buzzing from their triumph, found themselves standing on the edge of a new challenge. A massive holographic display flickered to life before them, casting a ghostly glow across their faces. "Congratulations, warriors of Earth," the Zathari ambassador announced, his tone both congratulatory and ominous. "You have proven your strength. Now you will face the trial of illusions, a test of your mental fortitude." Maya's stomach tightened. "Illusions," she whispered to Jake, anxiety creeping into her voice. "They'll try to break us mentally," Jake replied, his brow furrowed. "We've got to stay focused and trust each other." The ground trembled, and a swirling mist enveloped the arena. The atmosphere shifted, turning the battlefield into a twisted landscape of shifting shadows and distorted realities. The air hummed with tension as the Marines were split into individual zones, each one ensnared by their own personal nightmare. Maya stepped forward, finding herself in a desolate version of her childhood home, the walls peeling and the air thick with the scent of decay. The joyful laughter of her younger self echoed in the background, but it soon turned into haunting cries. Panic seized her heart as she saw her younger brother Benny sitting alone in the dark, tears streaming down his face. "Danny," she shouted, but as she reached for him, he vanished, leaving her alone in the oppressive gloom. The weight of guilt and loss crashed over her, a tidal wave of despair. She had failed to protect him once before. What if this was her chance to make things right? "Focus, Maya," she whispered to herself, shaking her head to clear the fog. She remembered Jake's words. This was a trick. She couldn't let the illusion consume her. Taking a deep breath, she closed her eyes, visualizing her brother's laughter instead of his tears. Suddenly, the scene shifted. She stood in an alien landscape, surrounded by towering Zathari soldiers, their eyes fixed on her. They moved closer, their menacing forms morphing into their comrades, their expressions twisted with accusations. "You let us down," they echoed, their voices a chorus of doubt. "You're weak." Maya's heart raced. "No," she shouted, defiance surging within her. "I'm stronger than you think." She remembered her team, their bond, their victories. She could hear Jake's steady voice in her mind. "We're in this together." With newfound determination, she focused on her comrades' faces, grounding herself in the reality of their shared experiences. The illusions wavered, fading like mist before the sun. Suddenly, the shadows lifted, and she was back in the arena, the ground firm beneath her feet. Across the field, she saw her fellow Marines battling their own demons. Jake was wrestling with a phantom of his past, a critical mission gone wrong, where he had lost a team member. Daniela faced the ghosts of her insecurities, while Marcus struggled against visions of failure that threatened to engulf him. "Don't give in," Maya shouted, her voice cutting through the mental fog. "We're stronger than this." One by one, the Marines began to shake off their illusions. The power of their unity prevailed over the seductive whispers of despair. The arena transformed, the twisted landscape reverting to its original form, and the air crackled with renewed energy. In the center, a shimmering portal appeared, signaling the end of the trial. As the last of their fears dissipated, the Marines gathered, panting but victorious. They embraced each other, tears of relief mingling with triumphant laughter. "Did we just?" Marcus began, incredulous. "Hell yes, we did." Daniela interrupted, a grin spreading across her face. As they crossed through the portal, a booming voice filled the arena once more. "You have proven your strength not just in body, but in mind. Prepare yourselves, for the next challenge awaits. With their spirits soaring and the bond between them unbreakable, the Marines stepped forward, ready to face whatever came next. They had conquered their fears, and with each test, they were reshaping not just their destiny, but humanity's place in the cosmos. The portal shimmered and faded, depositing the Marines into a vast, simulated battlefield that mirrored the desolate landscapes of war-torn planets. The air was thick with tension as holographic displays materialized, outlining the rules of the next challenge. This time, it was not just a test of strength or will, but of strategy. Welcome to the tactical convergence, the Zathari ambassador's voice echoed through the arena. You will face not only our finest soldiers, but also their advanced tactics. To succeed, you must outthink them. Maya felt her heart race. This was their fort, thinking outside the box. She turned to Jake, who was already analyzing the terrain. "All right, listen up," he called, gathering the Marines. "We need to spread out, establish communication, and create diversions. We'll use the environment to our advantage." The group moved into formation, taking in their surroundings. The battlefield was a chaotic blend of craters, ruins, and scattered debris, perfect for ambushes and strategic maneuvers. Maya could see the Zathari warriors assembling on the opposite side, their figures glinting ominously in the artificial sunlight. "On my mark, we'll split into 2 squads," Jake instructed. "Marcus and Daniela will take the left flank. Maya, you and I will hit them head-on. Remember, we have to outmaneuver them. We're the underdogs here, but we've got something they don't, our creativity." As the horn sounded, the Marines surged forward. Maya led the charge, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The Zathari advanced with precision, their formations tight, each soldier a well-oiled cog in a larger machine. It was clear they were well-trained, but Maya had a plan. "Go left," she shouted, motioning to Jake. As the Marines shifted, the Zathari's formation began to break, their attention split between the 2 groups. Maya grinned, sensing an opportunity. "Now," Jake yelled, and the Marines launched an unexpected barrage of smoke grenades, engulfing the battlefield in a thick haze. Confusion erupted among the Zathari ranks, their disciplined formations fracturing as they searched for the source of the attack. "Flank them," Maya shouted, leading her team around the perimeter. They darted from cover to cover, their movements fluid and instinctual. Through the smoke, the Zathari struggled to regain control, their once imposing presence now a shadow of uncertainty. Suddenly, a group of Zathari broke away, chasing after the decoy left by Marcus and Daniela. Jake saw the opening and gestured to Maya. "Now's our chance." They pushed forward, using the chaos to their advantage. As they closed in on a cluster of Zathari, Maya called for a coordinated strike. "On 3. 1, 2, 3. The Marines erupted from their hiding places, unleashing a flurry of fire and tactical maneuvers. Maya and Jake took down 2 Zathari warriors with swift, synchronized strikes, showcasing the power of their teamwork. The remaining Zathari struggled to regain their footing, but the Marines pressed on, exploiting the disarray. Just then, a Zathari commander rallied the remaining troops, barking orders. Maya felt a surge of urgency. They needed to take down that commander to destabilize the enemy's strategy. "Jake, cover me," she shouted, darting forward. The commander was strong and skilled, but Maya had the advantage of surprise. As she closed in, she feigned a left hook, only to pivot and land a solid kick to the commander's midsection, knocking him off balance. With the commander distracted, Jake unleashed a well-aimed shot from his rifle. hitting the commander squarely in the shoulder. The Zathari staggered, his commanding presence faltering as the Marines moved in for the final push. The remaining Zathari, witnessing their leader's downfall, hesitated, the confidence draining from their ranks. Seizing the moment, Maya rallied her team. Now, finish this. In a final coordinated attack, the Marines overwhelmed the disoriented Zathari. The last of the alien warriors fell, leaving the battlefield eerily silent. Breathing heavily, the Marines exchanged glances filled with exhilaration and disbelief. They had outsmarted their foes, proving that creativity and teamwork could outmaneuver even the most disciplined forces. As the holographic display flickered to life once more, the ambassador's voice filled the air. You have demonstrated remarkable tactical acumen. Prepare for the next challenge, where true resilience will be tested. Maya felt a surge of pride and determination. They had come together as a unit, proving that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. Whatever came next, they would face it together, ready to conquer the stars. The arena shimmered, and the Marines stood in an uneasy silence as the Zathari ambassador's voice echoed once more. You have proven your strength, will, and tactical genius. Now, prepare for the final test, the trial of unity. You will face an elite alien warlord and his formidable forces. To succeed, you must embrace your differences and fight as one. The atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation. Maya exchanged glances with her fellow Marines, the weight of their task settling over them. They had overcome individual fears and strategized together, but this would be the ultimate test of their teamwork. Let's not forget what brought us here, Jake said, his voice steady. We're stronger together. Each of us has unique skills. We need to leverage that. The ground trembled, and the massive gates of the arena swung open to reveal a vast, dystopian landscape littered with alien technology and the unmistakable presence of the warlord's forces. Tall, menacing figures clad in armor began to emerge, their eyes glowing with a fierce intensity. At the center stood the warlord himself, an imposing figure with dark scales and a crown of bone, radiating power and menace. Maya felt a shiver run down her spine as the warlord's voice boomed across the battlefield. I will crush the humans. You think yourselves worthy, but you are nothing more than insects before my might. Let's show him what we're made of, Maya shouted, rallying her team. The Marines took their positions, their hearts racing with adrenaline and determination. They were not just fighting for themselves. They were fighting for humanity's place among the stars. The horn sounded, and the warlord's forces surged forward, a tidal wave of alien warriors ready to unleash their fury. The Marines held their ground, ready to implement their plan. Jake, you take point with Daniela. Marcus, flank right with Miles. I'll lead a diversion to the left. Maya commanded, her mind racing with strategies. The Marines moved as one, executing the plan with precision. As they engaged the enemy, Maya led her team into a fierce skirmish, using the terrain to their advantage. They darted behind ruins, launching surprise attacks that kept the Zathari warriors off balance. The bond forged in previous battles became their lifeline, each Marine covering the other's back. Jake and Daniela pushed through the chaos, employing their energy rifles to keep the enemy at bay. We need to draw the warlord's attention, Jake yelled, firing at a group of approaching soldiers. Meanwhile, Maya spotted an opportunity. The warlord stood back, surveying the battlefield, his arrogance evident. This was their chance to strike a decisive blow. Now's our moment, she shouted to her team. As the Zathari warriors regrouped, Maya led a daring charge toward the warlord, weaving through enemy fire. The others followed her lead, and they closed the gap, determination burning in their hearts. Suddenly, the warlord turned, his eyes locking onto Maya. "Foolish human, you dare challenge me?" "I don't just dare. I'm going to win," Maya shouted, adrenaline surging through her. With a burst of speed, she launched herself at the warlord, unleashing a series of powerful strikes. The warlord retaliated with overwhelming force, but Maya's team was right behind her, each marine utilizing their strengths to keep the warlord off balance. Daniela used her agility to dodge attacks and land precise hits, while Marcus and Miles coordinated a series of tactical flanks that kept the warlord disoriented. In the heat of battle, the warlord roared in frustration, swinging wildly as the Marines executed a combination of feints and diversions. Maya felt a surge of hope. They were more than just soldiers now. They were a cohesive unit, each member's unique abilities shining through. Together, Jake shouted, his voice ringing clear above the chaos. On 3, the Marines formed a semicircle, launching a synchronized attack on the warlord. 1, 2, 3. They struck as one, a whirlwind of energy and determination. The warlord staggered under the combined force, his arrogance crumbling in the face of human ingenuity and unity. With a final united effort, Maya landed a decisive blow, sending the warlord crashing to the ground. Silence fell over the battlefield as the last echoes of the battle faded. Breathing heavily, the Marines stood victorious, their hearts racing with exhilaration. The Zathari forces, witnessing their leader's defeat, began to retreat, realizing they had underestimated humanity. As the dust settled, the Zathari ambassador reappeared, his expression one of reluctant admiration. "You have proven your worth, not through individual might, but through the strength of your unity. Humanity has earned its place in the coalition." Maya and her team shared a triumphant glance, a bond forged in battle and cemented by their triumph. They had not only fought for survival, they had redefined what it meant to be a warrior. Together, they had shown the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The arena buzzed with energy as the Zathari ambassador's words sank in, a mix of relief and disbelief flooding the Marines. They had done it. They had proven their worth. But as the cheers of the audience echoed, a dark shadow loomed on the horizon. Without warning, the ground trembled, and a chilling alarm blared through the arena. Holographic displays flickered and distorted, revealing the warlord's form, now seething with rage. "You think you have won. You have only awakened my true power." As the Marines braced themselves, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. A massive Zathari warship descended from the nebula above, its metallic surface gleaming ominously. From its belly, an array of energy cannons emerged, charging ominously. "What the hell is happening?" Marcus shouted, his eyes wide with fear. "Stay focused," Maya barked, her heart racing. "We can't let panic set in. We need a plan." The warship unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, striking the arena with devastating precision. Explosions erupted around them, sending debris flying. The Marines instinctively dove for cover, narrowly avoiding the deadly fire. "Jake," Maya yelled, "we need to disable that ship. If we don't, we'll be sitting ducks here." "I see it," he replied, scanning the battlefield. "There, those energy conduits on the ship's underside. We can target them, but we need to split up to get a clear shot." "All right, let's regroup and go," Maya said, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "We'll hit them from different angles." The group quickly reassembled, their minds racing with the urgency of the situation. "Daniela, you take Marcus and flank from the left. Jake, and I will distract them from the right. We need to keep the fire off you long enough for you to make that shot." Maya directed, her voice sharp with determination. The Marines nodded, steeling themselves for what was to come. "Let's move," Jake urged, leading the charge. As they advanced, the warship continued to unleash its fury, but the Marines had learned from previous encounters. They used the wreckage and structures in the arena as cover, weaving in and out of sight. Maya could feel the heat of energy blasts passing perilously close, but fear transformed into focus. "Now!" Maya shouted, and she and Jake launched themselves into the open, drawing the ship's fire. The energy blasts illuminated the arena, creating a chaotic dance of light and shadow. Meanwhile, Daniela and Marcus maneuvered through the wreckage, approaching the ship's underside with stealth. They communicated through hand signals, their training kicking in as they avoided detection. "Keep your head down," Marcus hissed, peering around a ruined structure. Daniela nodded, her heart pounding as they crept closer. "I've got a clear shot at the conduit. Just cover me." Back at the front, Maya and Jake ducked and rolled, firing back at the ship's defenses. They had to buy Daniela and Marcus enough time to complete their mission. "Let's keep it up," Jake shouted, his rifle blazing as they took down a few alien sentries. "Just a little longer." Almost there, Daniela breathed, taking aim. With a deep breath, she steadied her rifle, focusing on the shimmering energy conduit. The reticle turned green, a perfect shot. "Here goes nothing," she whispered, squeezing the trigger. The shot rang out, striking the conduit with a crackling explosion of energy. The ship shuddered, smoke billowing from the damage. Alarms blared as the Zathari crew scrambled to respond, their confidence shaken. "Nice shot," Maya shouted, feeling a rush of hope surge through her. "Let's finish this." With renewed energy, Maya and Jake launched another attack, pressing their advantage as the warship struggled to recover. The Zathari soldiers, realizing their leader was vulnerable, hesitated. The tide of battle had shifted once more. Maya turned to Jake, determination in her eyes. "We need to take out the warlord now, while these weakened. Let's go." Together, they charged toward the warlord, who had emerged from the wreckage of his forces, fury etched into his features. But this time, he was no longer an immovable force. With the Marines working together, fueled by their unity and resilience, they were ready to deliver the final blow. The warlord roared in anger, raising his weapon, but Maya and Jake pressed forward, fueled by the strength of their bond, ready to finish what they had started. Together, they were unstoppable. As the warlord lay defeated, the ground around him trembled with the echoes of the battle. The remaining Zathari forces hesitated, their confidence shaken by the loss of their formidable leader. The air crackled with tension as Maya and her comrades stood together, their hearts pounding in triumph yet tinged with caution. "You may have bested me today," the warlord hissed, his voice low and menacing, "but remember this. Your victory will not go unchallenged. There are forces beyond your understanding that will rise against you." Maya took a step forward, her gaze unwavering. "Let them come. We'll be ready. Together, we've proven that we can face anything." The warlord scoffed, struggling to rise but finding himself pinned by the weight of defeat. "You underestimate the Zathari. You will learn that unity means nothing in the face of true power." Before Maya could respond, a shimmering portal opened behind the warlord, swirling with energy and a strange otherworldly light. A new figure emerged, an ethereal being draped in shifting shadows. Its presence radiated an ancient, overwhelming power, making the very ground beneath the Marine's feet hum. Varathos, The Zathari ambassador whispered, his tone a mixture of fear and reverence. The being regarded the Marines with piercing eyes, an unsettling calm surrounding it. You have disrupted the balance, young warriors. The warlord's defeat is only the beginning of a greater conflict. Your kind's tenacity draws attention from far and wide. The Marines exchanged glances, uncertainty gnawing at their victory. What do you want from us? Jake demanded, stepping protectively in front of Maya. Varathos tilted its head, a smile playing across its lips. I am here not to destroy but to test. The fate of your kind hangs in the balance, and I require champions. You will face trials that will test not only your strength, but your resolve, your choices, and your unity. What kind of trials? Daniela asked, her voice steady despite the unease. Only those who can confront their greatest fears and emerge with the bonds of unity strengthened will survive, Varathos replied. You have proven yourselves worthy, but this galaxy is a crucible. Are you prepared to endure? The Marines glanced at one another, the weight of the question hanging in the air. They had already faced so much together, overcoming fear, doubt, and adversity, but the uncertainty of what lay ahead was daunting. Yes, Maya said finally, her voice strong and resolute. We are ready. We will fight for humanity and for each other. Very well, Varathos replied, the shadows around it swirling with renewed intensity. You will embark on a journey beyond the stars. Embrace the challenges ahead, for they will shape not just your destiny, but the fate of your people. With a wave of its hand, the arena dissolved around them, replaced by a swirling void filled with vibrant colors and distant stars. The Marines felt a rush of energy, as if the very fabric of the universe was pulling them into a new realm. As they landed softly on a pristine alien landscape, the air was filled with unfamiliar scents and sounds. Towering structures loomed in the distance, glimmering with a strange, bioluminescent glow. Where are we? Marcus asked, scanning the surroundings. This is the Nexus, Varathos said, its voice echoing as they stood before an enormous archway adorned with symbols of ancient civilizations. Here, you will face your first trial, the trials of connection. To emerge victorious, you must unify not just as a team, but connect with the diverse beings that inhabit this realm. The Marines braced themselves, their minds racing with possibilities. Each of them had experienced the bonds of friendship and loyalty, but connecting with unknown entities would push their limits further than ever. Maya felt a spark of determination ignite within her. They had already come so far. They had proven themselves on the battlefield, overcome illusions, and faced the warlord. Together, they could face anything. Let's do this, she said, looking at her team. Whatever comes next, we face it together. With that, they stepped through the archway, the vibrant light engulfing them as they prepared to embrace the challenges of the Nexus and test the very foundation of their unity. As the Marines stepped through the archway, they found themselves in a vast chamber filled with swirling energies, shimmering lights, and ethereal beings that floated just beyond their reach. The air crackled with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. A kaleidoscope of colors danced around them, illuminating the intricate patterns of the Nexus. Welcome, champions, Varathos announced, its voice resonating like a choir. You stand at the crossroads of destiny. Here, you will encounter the trials of connection, a series of challenges designed to test your ability to bond with those who are different from you. What kind of trials? Jake asked, his brows furrowing in concern. Each trial will require you to interact with the diverse entities of this realm, Varathos explained. You will learn to communicate, empathize, and unite in purpose. Only then will you find the strength to overcome. A shimmering portal opened before them, revealing a vast landscape that shifted and morphed like a living organism. The ground transformed into soft, glowing grass, and strange creatures began to emerge, beings of light, color, and form that defied explanation. "Prepare yourselves," Varathos intoned, its presence looming large. "Your first trial begins now." As the portal closed behind them, Maya felt a rush of uncertainty. They had faced physical battles, but this challenge was different. It required them to reach beyond their comfort zones and connect with entities they had never encountered before. The first creature approached, resembling a floating jellyfish made of luminescent tendrils that pulsed rhythmically. It hovered before Maya, its movements gentle yet curious. "Greetings, human," it communicated, not through words but through vibrant colors that danced across its form. Maya felt a wave of emotions wash over her, curiosity, joy, and a hint of sorrow. "Hi," Maya replied hesitantly, unsure of how to respond. She focused on conveying warmth and openness, hoping the creature could sense her intentions. Suddenly, the creature emitted a series of colors that formed a vibrant pattern, depicting scenes of joy and connection. Maya realized it was trying to share its own experiences, moments of friendship and understanding. "I understand," she said softly, her heart swelling with empathy. "You value connection, just like we do." As she spoke, the creature's colors intensified, forming a brilliant display that enveloped Maya in a cocoon of light. A moment later, she felt a surge of energy pulse through her, and she sensed the creature's gratitude resonating within her. Behind her, Daniela and Marcus were engaging their own entities, forming connections through shared emotions and experiences. The entities began to intertwine with the Marines, creating a tapestry of light that symbolized their newfound bonds. "Stay present," Jake encouraged, his voice steady as he worked with a shimmering entity resembling a sentient cloud. "Focus on what we have in common." The challenges continued, each trial more complex than the last. The Marines faced creatures that embodied fear, hope, and resilience, each requiring them to engage in unique ways. They learned to share stories, express vulnerabilities, and even confront their own insecurities. At one point, Marcus encountered a being that mirrored his self-doubt. It was dark and shadowy, taunting him with his fears. "You are not strong enough to lead," it hissed. But with his friends at his side, Marcus summoned the strength within him. "I may not be perfect, but I have my team," he declared. "Together, we can face anything." As he spoke, the shadows began to dissipate, transforming into light. The connection between the Marines solidified, and they could feel their individual strengths amplifying one another. With each trial, their bonds deepened, their understanding of one another growing stronger. They learned to appreciate each person's unique perspective, realizing that their differences were what made them a powerful unit. Finally, as they completed the last trial, the vibrant chamber shimmered and transformed into a serene landscape bathed in golden light. Varathos appeared before them, its form radiating approval. "You have successfully completed the trials of connection," it proclaimed. "Your unity has grown stronger, and you have learned the true power of empathy and collaboration." Maya and her team exchanged triumphant glances, their hearts swelling with pride. They had faced their fears, embraced the unknown, and emerged not just as soldiers, but as a family bound by shared experiences. "You are now ready," Varathos continued. "The galaxy awaits your courage and wisdom. Go forth, champions of humanity, and embrace your destiny." With those words, the landscape shifted once again, and the Marines felt a rush of energy as they were propelled into a new chapter of their journey, ready to face whatever challenges the universe had in store, united as one.